is Computer Graphics and Web Technology, and my project members are Ashutosh Khadse, Shreyas Gade, Vedant Hanekar. So motivation for our project is basically many companies nowadays, many e-commerce companies nowadays, it's trending in them that adding a 3D graphics into their websites, which will increase the user interactions with them, which will attract the user, which will give the better visualization to the user of their product. So that's why they are more focusing on 3D graphics in the website. So, but adding the graphics in the website, there is a library in JavaScript which is called 3JS, and it has very steep learning curve, which means it is very difficult for a developer to understand the 3JS and then work on it. So we try to. So our motivation is that we'll find a simpler way to. We'll find a simpler library which will help the developer to add more 3D graphics project into the website. So you can see that this is the ad of the Samsung. This is the website basically there, and you can see they have added a 3D model of their mobile phone. So you can see that which will interact more with the user and which will give the better understanding to the user. So our problem statement is that as I've already said that it is difficult for a developer to create components separately, like a model, lighting, HDRI, environment separately. So while there is only one library for which is called 3JS, so we try to and which has really great capability for rendering, but it is very time consuming also, and most of the time if you want to add a noise into the website, it most of the time corrupt that noise. So that is a problem in 3JS also. So this is the problem statement. This is our aim that we want to develop the simpler web library which is on top of 3JS, in which developer do not need to do a separate environment for HDRI, model, lighting, etc. And the objectives are to import complete scenes directly using API cell, automatically manages mesh, material, lighting, HDRI environment, enable event handling like hover, click, and provide options like option to tweak some parameters according to the developer set. Next. So these are some topics which we have divided with our group members for research. So introduction of this is, as I have already said, that 3JS is a library, and basically in a browser there is a graphic engine which is called browser render graphics, which helps in a WebGL, which helps a 3D model to work well in a browser. And 3JS, basically 3JS is a library which helps a 3D model which is created in a Blender, which helps to convert the 3D model into a website with the help of 3JS. And so these are the related work which has been done before in this field. First one is a WebGL beginner guide. In this, it tells basic knowledge about WebGL, what is WebGL and why it is used, and how to work on WebGL. And the second one is the book of shader. We're gonna see forward in the slide what is the shaders, and also efficient computational noise in GLSL. We also gonna see what is the noise in the forward in seminar. So first one, we're gonna see what are the steps in 3JS and how it works. So first one is scene. Scene is basically the environment which we need in 3D model to create. Then the second one is the camera. Just like its name, camera means camera is responsible to show different angles in our website, in our 3D project basically, and this is the code to implement the camera. If you want to add camera into the scene, this is the code. Basically, we take camera as an object. Then this is the syntax basically in 3JS. Constant camera equals to new x, y, z axes, and we give some value to it, and then see add camera. So we add the function camera add it in the scheme. So this is the Blender basically. Blender is used to create the 3D model first. So this is the Blender, and you can see that this is all the environment. This is the 3D model, and you can see it's a camera. So you can see that camera is focusing on this side. After we load this, we can see this side of the cube. This is what camera does. And the third one is renderer. Renderer is basically used to display what what camera has captured, and it displays it on the screen. To make the renderer to show it on the screen, this is the code. So take the renderer as an object, and then set its size, and we also give it some pixel ratio of how much pixel we want to see, how much quality we want to see that side of a side which camera is showing to us. And animation. Okay. So in this orbit control, you can see that orbit control is necessary because you can see this cursor is moving, and according to that, the books are moving, and they are acting according to how cursor is behaving. So it is also feature of the 3JS, which means that if which will give user to feel more interactive and more involved in the site. Also, we can drag the cursor, and according to that, the website will behave. Modeling in a Blender. So basically, how modeling in a Blender works is that we have to create very low poly 3D models in a Blender, because if you add high poly model in a Blender, if you create high poly model in a Blender, it is difficult for 3JS to act according to it, because it will not give high performance and its speed will be reduced. That's why it's very necessary to give low poly 3D model. That's why, and there are some steps which will give low poly 3D model. The first one is removing unseen faces. So basically, removing unseen faces means we are seeing something right now in front. The background will be deleted, so we can only see the front portion. There is no need of a background. That's why it will get deleted, and after we need it, it will recover it, and then we'll again see. We will be able to see it. The second one is proper UV unwrapping for texture mapping. In this image, you can see that the Santa Claus texture is not that finishing and not proper. So for the proper finishing, we can unwrap it, and by unwrapping, it will look like this, and we'll do some texture checking, and according to that, we'll consider which texture will look good on this, and after that, we'll again wrap it to the Santa Claus for more finishing work. And also using Draco compression to reduce file size. Draco is the software which will help us to compress the file size. It is also a method. You can see that you all know as in our childhood we have made a dice with the help of a cardboard, and you can see that. We can see that with the help of cardboard we make dice, and after unwrapping it will look like this. So it's basically an example of UV unwrapping. So until now we have seen what is camera, what is scene, what is renderer, but we cannot create a model in 3JS. We have created a model in a Blender. To add that Blender model into 3JS with the help of code, this is the importing. This is the code. Basically, we can to import that model into a 3JS code. There is a function called GLTF loader. So to add that into our model, into our 3JS code, we take an object as a loader, and then in loader we create a function dot load. basically .glb is an extension and model is our model, and then we add that model into our scene by this code. And now we see the noise and shader. Basically, this noise algorithm is created by Ken Perlin. So basically, noise means a randomness of an object. So for example, water, air, clouds, like fire. We cannot give them geometric figures. They are all random. We cannot add in the code with some geometric mathematical functions with the help of them. So this is the noise, and but in 3JS, while adding the noise in 3JS, it's most of the time it gets corrupted or it gets distorted. So it's very difficult and complex to add the noise with the help of 3JS. And we also aim that to reduce this complexity in our web project. And these are the application of our of 3JS, of our 3D model in 3JS. Education domain nowadays, documentation, education content mostly need this 3D graphics nowadays, and e-commerce site basically to better visualization of the product and understanding. And in conclusion, in this seminar we already learned what is scene, what is shader, what is noise. Also we have known what is the process of 3JS, and through this project we will try to abstract the entire process and allow developers to add these 3D scenes into their website easily, and it will reduce their complexity and their task will get reduced. Thank you.
Yes, so Anjali, do you think that you are going to develop something which is a general 3D model inserter, or it will be specific to some websites?
No, we're gonna create a library which is general like 3JS, but which is more simplified than 3JS.
So you gave an example of a mobile. But what exactly, how the 3D view will help a user? And right now, even if we have a video and the object is shown from all three sides, we get that view, right?
Yeah.
So, what is the benefit the user will derive from this 3D model?
No, basically, we'll get to know how it will look, and there are some features we can add. There are below the options what kind of color we want, what kind of features. There are some kind of like which